Hi, I'm Brenda Norris, RYT 500, and studio owner of Yoga at the Spring in the Olney Sandy Spring area. Today's sequence is going to be a pretty active vinyasa flow, and we're going to focus on our Anahata chakra. You may know it as heart center. The Anahata chakra is the fourth chakra from the top of the crown of the head, and it's also the fourth chakra from the very base of the spine. So it really truly is in the center of the chakra system, your heart center. If you take my classes regularly in the studio or anywhere else, you know that I love to use music in my flows. We won't be using music today, but I encourage you, if you like to practice with music, to take a moment and set your own playlist. Since we're focusing on the heart chakra, maybe a few of your favorite love songs or any other music will do. Let's begin. We're going to start in one of my favorite open-hearted supported positions, and that's a supported Matsyendrasana, fish pose. If you have blocks, blocks are great, set up just like so. And if you don't have blocks, you could use blankets or even a pillow. Just kind of roll your blanket and use it under the shoulders like we'll use a block. Even a big bulky sweatshirt will work. So that first block or sweatshirt or blanket goes right underneath the shoulder blades. And that second block is going to come right to the back of the center of the head. So once you get down there, you'll have to kind of play with where that block feels best. The idea is that your heart is just slightly lifted when you release your arms down to the earth, palms face up, and release your legs long. If that's too much on the low spine, you may need to adjust the block a little bit higher, or you can even bend the knees. So come on to this place, closing your eyes, and begin to settle into your practice. Expanding the length of your inhales and lengthening your exhales just as importantly. Really melting around that block that has the heart lifted. Breathing into the belly, into the ribs, all the way into the heart center. And exhaling each time. I love this pose for several reasons. One, it combats all that hunching, texting, and typing that we do. We all need to spend a little time here. But two, it just really gently begins to open and lift our heart chakra. And our heart chakra is associated with love, compassion, and self-acceptance. Don't we all need a little more of that? Just take 3 more deep, full breath rounds here. Through with that third breath round, gently just roll off to one side, enough to remove the blocks or the sweatshirts or the bolster, and then lay all the way back to your spine. Bend your knees, take the soles of the feet out to the wide edges of the mat, and then take your arms into goalpost shape, down on the earth. Rest them down, palms face up. Then allow both knees to just gently fall over to one side. And bringing the knees up. Let them fall to the other side. Just taking a gentle spinal twist. Bring those knees up towards the ceiling again. Let them drop over to the left this time. And maybe your gaze comes right. Getting to open and lengthen that cervical spine as well. Bring your head back to the center. Draw your knees up to the sky and drop them to the right as your gaze comes left. Back up to center. This time, drop the knees to the left, but stack the inner thighs together, and then bring both palms to touch, rolling all the way to the center of your forehead so your third eye center touches down on the earth. Connecting there for a moment. And then opening the arms, opening the body up. Feel that vastness in the heart center as it faces the sky, and then close to the other side. Continuing to take a few more of these opening and closings on your own time, as fast or as slow as you need to move. Beginning to integrate breath with the movements. Staying with those deep, full, long breaths. Ending on your right side. And then we're going to push all the way up into our tabletop. If you do have blocks, you may like those blocks at the very top of your mat. And we're going to find our tabletop. So walk your knees back so that they're right under the hips. And walk your hands back so they're right underneath the shoulders. Shoulders stacked over wrists, hips stacked over knees. Low belly begins to hug in, navel pulls in towards the back body. And find that nice flat spine. Crown of the head, top of the head lengthens away from the tailbone. Shoulders lengthen away from the ears. And feel all that work and stability happening just right here. Inhaling, dropping the belly, lifting the heart, lifting the tail, finding your first cow tilt. Exhaling, catting the spine, pressing into the earth, shoulder blades separate. And inhale, dropping belly, lifting heart, lifting tail. Exhale, catting the spine. And then pausing in your neutral spine, finding that tabletop again. On your inhale, right arm lifts. And thread the right arm through, coming to the back of the right shoulder blade. Head rests down on the right side. And you can stay right here, or you can tiptoe those left fingertips forward, or maybe even take that left hand back to find the small of the back, or top of the right thigh as you stack that left shoulder over the right, getting a really nice opening in both shoulders. Breathing into that space. Unwind if you're wound on your inhale, right arm lifts. And exhale, place it down. Inhale, back to those cat-cows, dropping belly, lifting heart. Exhale, catting the spine. Pausing in your neutral. On your inhale, left arm lifts. Thread it through. Again, staying right here. Maybe this is enough shoulder opening for you. Or maybe you want to tiptoe those right fingertips forward. Or take that right arm to find the small of the back or top of the left thigh. Unwind if you're wound. On your inhale, left arm lifts. And place it back down. Here we're going to take a melting heart, also called Anahatasana in Sanskrit. So the hips stay stacked right over the knees, and you walk the hands forward, melting the forehead down to the earth. If the forehead doesn't come down all the way to the earth, you can use a block. Melting the forehead down. If your neck, there's no pressure on the neck to do this, you can bring your chin to the earth. And then just finding the breath here on every exhale, dropping the chest a little more towards the earth. Gently walking those hands back. Tucking the toes, lifting the hips, finding your first downward facing dog. So knees may be really bent here. And maybe you want to walk your dog bending into one knee, lengthening the opposite heel down towards the earth, and switching. And then begin to lengthen both heels down towards the mat, finding your downward facing dog, spreading the fingers apart wide, pressing into the base of all 10 fingers, and actively pressing your chest back towards the thighs. Check in with the neck here. There should be no tension in that head and neck. Give it a little nod. One more deep breath in. And exhale. We're going to shift forward into a high plank. Option to hold right here, or you can always drop the knees here. So press away from the earth, lengthen the tailbone away from the crown of the head. Try not to let that chin drop down. And then hug the elbows in as you lower all the way down to the earth. Fingertips line up to the center of the chest. Tops of the feet press down into the earth. And that low pelvis presses down into the earth. Tailbone lengthens down towards the heels. So much to think about even just here on our bellies. On your next inhale, peeling the forehead and shoulders to hover off of the earth, finding Bhujangasana, low cobra. Exhale, release it down. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, release. Again, inhale, cobra. Important in cobra not to look up, not to drop the head down, but keep the back of the neck nice and long. You're probably looking right about where your mat meets the floor. Release all the way down to the earth, and you can take another low cobra. If you feel ready to rise up into your upward facing dog, drag the fingertips back about 2 or 3 inches so they line up, fingertips line up with the top rib, about that. And then press into the tops of the feet, press into the hands, and rise up into your Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. First one of the practice, so give it a little time, maybe a little sway. And then hug the navel in, lift the hips, find your downward facing dog. 3 deep, long breaths here. And just for a moment, let's all drop the knees and sit the hips back to find your child's pose. Arms can come alongside the body or extend out in front of you. Staying here, I like to pause here to remind you that you can come to this child's pose at any time in practice. You can always drop the knees and take a pause. This is yoga. Okay. Practice self-compassion. Listen to your body. Listen to what you need. And when you're ready, rise back up into your downward facing dog. From there, we're gonna walk the feet up to the hands. When you get there, grab opposite elbows, hang in a forward fold. Knees may be really bent here, so the belly just drapes on the thighs. And then you can just take a gentle sway back and forth. Release the arms down in the center and begin to roll up the spine, stacking the vertebrae one by one by one. As you roll all the way up, Tadasana. Okay. Fixing our hair, fixing our shirt. Stepping to the top of your mat. Again, if you'd like to have those blocks there, I like them early in practice. So feet are about hips width distance apart. If you're not sure hips width, take 2 fists, place them between your feet. Palms face forward, shoulders release down, energy out the crown of the head. Tailbone lengthens down towards the heels and feel that gentle broadness in the chest as the shoulders slightly contract back towards each other. Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, arms sweep up, Urdhva Hastasana, palms touch, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Taking our sun salutations nice and slow to start. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Hands press into the shins, or maybe fingertips to the block, or fingertips to the earth. On your exhale, forward fold. Taking 2 more of those. Inhale, flat back, crown of the head lengthens away from the tailbone. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands, bend the knees, step it back to a downward facing dog. And let's all lower the knees on this first one, shifting forward into a modified plank as you hug the elbows in and lower all the way down to the earth. Inhale, peeling the forehead and shoulders to lift for low cobra. Exhale, release, press into a tabletop, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Long inhale, and exhale. On your inhale, rise up to the toes. Exhale, bend the knees deep. Step the feet in between the hands, right into your halfway lift. Exhale. Root down through the feet to rise up. Palms touch, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Release back to your Tadasana. That was our Surya Namaskar A. For this sequence, we're going to rotate between Surya Namaskar A and a classical Surya A. I'll talk you through it. Inhale. Exhale, dive down. Slight bend in the knees, right foot steps way back, as far back as you can. Then drop that back knee. Maybe take those blocks under the hands to sit the hips low and shine the heart forward for Anjaneyasana. Framing the front foot steps back, downward facing dog. Shifting forward to your high plank, option to drop to the knees or take your first full chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra or peeling heart open for Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, hips rise, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Right leg rises. Hug the right knee in, cat the spine, coil the belly, and softly step that foot through as you drop the back knee. Anjaneyasana, those fingertips can stay connected to the earth, or maybe you use those blocks. Stepping forward to fold, let it go. Inhale to rise. Exhale, dive right back down. Slight bend in the knees as the left foot steps way back, back knee drops. Anjaneyasana. Feel that the front of the left hip flexor really begin to open. And downward facing dog. Shifting forward to your high plank or knees plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Hug the left knee, step it through. Back knee drops, Anjaneyasana. And step it forward to fold. Root down to rise up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Back to your Tadasana. Surya A, inhale, picking up speed a little bit. Exhale. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands, step or float the feet. Take your vinyasa. Peeling heart open. And hips rise. Long inhale here. And exhale. Inhale, rise up to the toes. Bend the knees deep. Step or float the feet in between the hands right into your halfway lift. Exhale. Inhale to rise. Exhale, dive right back down. Slight bend in the knees, left foot steps way back, back knee drops. Your hands can still stay connected to the blocks or the earth, or maybe they walk up to that front thigh. Or maybe they just release down beside the hips. Downward facing dog. Shifting forward. High plank or knees plank. Chaturanga. Peeling heart open. And hips rise. Right leg lifts. And step it through. Back knee drops. Anjaneyasana. Step it forward to fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, dive right back down. Left foot steps way back, back knee drops. Downward facing dog. Shifting forward, taking your vinyasa. Left leg lifts. Step it through. Anjane. And step forward to fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more round of our Surya A's. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step or float the feet, your vinyasa. On your next inhale, rise up to the toes. Bend the knees deep, step or float the feet. Right into your halfway lift. Exhale. Inhale to rise. Exhale, dive right back down. Last classical Surya, right foot steps way back. You can take any other version, or maybe the arms begin to sweep up. Downward facing dog. Shifting forward. Vinyasa. Right leg lifts. Step it through. Anjaneyasana. And step it forward to fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, Uttanasana. Left foot steps back. Anjaneyasana. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Plank. Vinyasa. Left leg lifts. Step it through. Last on Johnny. And step it forward to fold, let it go. Root down through the feet to rise up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Placing your left hand over your heart center, your right hand over your left. Closing your eyes and just breathing. Noticing the heart rate rise. Notice all that energy, that prana, moving throughout the body. And feel that heat that you've created through the Surya Namaskars. Take one more deep breath in. And exhale, release the hands to the side. Inhale, arms sweep up, palms together, pointer fingers reach up, thumbs cross. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold right. Inhale. Exhale, fold left, finding a standing Ardha Chandrasana. Inhale to rise. Exhale, fold back to the right. Maybe drop that right arm down, fold a little deeper. Maybe begin to gaze up under that top tricep. Both hip points shining forward. On your next inhale, rise up. And exhale, fold other side. Release that bottom arm. Inhale to rise. Exhale, arms come to frame the sacrum, the very low back. And then hug the elbows back, back, back towards the back of the mat. Feel that broadness in the chest, that openness. And then you can stay right here if that's enough heart opening for you, or you can begin to tilt the chin up towards the sky, letting the head drop back and the heart open a little bit more. Breathing into the heart chakra, throat chakra. And then rising back up. Finding your Tadasana. And ready for our sequence. Inhale, arms sweep out and out, palms touch, gaze up. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands, step or float the feet, take your vinyasa. Option from here on out, anytime we take a vinyasa, it's optional. You can just always step right back and meet us right here in a downward facing dog. Right leg lifts. Open up the right hip. Bend the right knee. Shine the right knee up towards the sky. And still lengthening that left heel down towards the mat for a three-legged open hip downward facing dog. Maybe you begin to gaze up under the right tricep. And then lengthen the right leg long and high. Square the hips. Point the right toes down towards the mat. Hug the right knee in, cat the spine, and step it through, landing in a nice long low lunge. Left hand plants, right arm lifts, finding an easy twist. And releasing that right arm to the earth, press down equally through both feet as you rise up into a high lunge. From here, we're going to dip the back knee to hover just an inch off the earth as you open back up into those goalpost arms. Maybe you even lift the chest a little, up to you. And then straighten arms and legs. One more time, find that knee dip. And straighten arms and legs. From here, you're going to catch that back knee just to find a little balance. And then with control, step it back, finding your high lunge. Left arm comes forward, right arm swings back, and bring that back hand to the back leg, finding a revolved peaceful warrior. Your gaze can be straight up. And then arms frame ears, finding that high lunge again. You're on the ball of the back foot. Spin that back heel down, open up warrior two. Virabhadrasana 2. So here, you have a straight line from that front heel to the back arch. You can adjust if you need to. Flipping the front palm, find your peaceful warrior. And straighten the front leg. Walk those back fingertips down the back leg just a millimeter or two. Back to your warrior two. Right forearm comes to right thigh. Left arm sweeps up and over, finding your side angle. Utthita Parsvakonasana. You can stay right here, or if you'd like to find a half bind, bringing that left hand to find the small of the back, or maybe top of the front thigh, you can. One more deep breath. Open back up, find your warrior two. Long inhale here. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, frame the front foot. Step it back, high plank. And take your vinyasa, or don't. As we meet in a downward facing dog, taking a few breaths here. Before we drop the knees, shift forward, hips stack over knees, and walk the hands forward, melting the heart down, melting the forehead or the chin down to the earth for Anahatasana. And walking back up, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, rise up to the toes. Exhale, bend the knees deep. Step or float the feet. Inhale, flat back. Exhale. Inhale to rise. And exhale, hands to heart center. Back to your Tadasana. Taking opposite elbows behind you, just like so. You can stay right here, or if you'd like to find a reverse namaste, with the palms pressed together, you can do that. Just taking a moment here to breathe, sense that heart center, a place of compassion, self-acceptance. Staying right here, or begin to dive that chest upward again. And then bring your spine back to straight. Release the arms down, finding your mountain pose. Inhale. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands, step or float the feet, take your vinyasa, or just step it back to a downward facing dog and breathe. From here, left leg lifts. Open up the left hip, bend the knee. Release that right heel down towards the mat. Shining the left knee up towards the sky. Maybe begin to gaze up under the left tricep. And then lengthen the left leg long and high. Square the hips, flex that back foot, pointing the toes down towards the mat. Hugging the left knee in, catting the spine and stepping it through. Landing in a nice long low lunge. As the right hand plants and the left arm lifts. Release the left hand down. Press down equally into both feet. Rise up, high lunge. We're going to find those knee dips again. So goal post the arms as you gently drop the knee down, hover just an inch off the earth, and then straighten arms and legs. Find that control, that ease, that steadiness. One more time. And lift. From here, you're going to catch that back leg. And if you don't catch it the first time, just try it again. Stepping back, high lunge. This time the right hand comes forward, left goes back, finding that revolved peaceful warrior. Maybe you feel the stretch in the front of the right hip flexor, front of the right thigh. Arms frame ears, landing in your high lunge. And then spinning the back heel down, warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. Gazing out over that front middle finger. Flipping the front palm, revolved warrior. And straightening the front knee. Tiptoeing the back fingertips, bound the back leg. Virabhadrasana 2, bending deep into that front knee. Check to make sure that front knee isn't knocking in. It's pointing out towards the middle fingers, the middle toes or little toes. And then bring that left forearm to the left thigh as the right arm sweeps up and over. Utthita Parsvakonasana on this side. Side angle. Staying right here or finding the half bind. And then checking in here. Is that right shoulder stacked over the left? Are your left ribs rotating under and your right ribs rotating up towards the sky? Is your spine long and lengthened? Take one more deep breath here. Unwind, warrior two. Long inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, frame the front foot, and step it back. Vinyasa. Take 3 long, deep breaths here. Just slightly gaze forward. We're going to drop the forearms down to the earth. And then drop the knees down. We're going to come all the way to our bellies to come to a Sphinx pose. So find the shoulders stacked right over the elbows here. And draw that heart gently through. Tops of the feet are pressed down to the earth. That low pelvis is pressed down into the earth still to protect that low spine. Just breathing. And release all the way down. Release your arms alongside the body. One side of the face comes to the mat. Let your arms just relax. Let your legs just relax. And breathe. Feel the rise and fall of the belly. And And then zip up the inner thighs. Allow the big toes to come toward touching, palms face down. And begin to contract the shoulder blades back towards each other, which may lift the shoulders to hover off the earth for Ardha Shalambhasana, half locust. You can stay right here and breathe in this half locust, or if you'd like to lift the legs a few inches off the earth, maybe the arms even lift a little bit off the earth to find your full locust, Shalambhasana, flying locust pose. Allow the pose to breathe and move with the breath. One more deep breath in, fullest expression. And exhale, release it down. Bring the other cheek to the mat. Bend the knees and windshield wiper the legs. Release the low spine. And then pause in the center. You can take that locust pose again, that Shalambhasana. Or if you'd like to hug those inner thighs together, reach back to grab the outer ankles or tops of the feet, doesn't matter which one. And then from there, begin to kick the shins, kick the shoelace side of the feet, back, back, back towards the back of the mat. That's what's going to lift you up into your Dhanurasana bow pulling posture. And if you'd like to have a little fun, inhale here. Exhale, dive to one side, finding Parsvadhanurasana, dropping the head back towards the feet. Inhale, back to the belly. And exhale, Parsvadhanurasana, other side. Inhale, back to your Dhanurasana. Lift, lift, lift. And exhale, release. Pause on your belly for a moment. Just reset the spine. And then shift back, finding your child's pose. And gently rolling up. Sitting the hips on the heels and then just sitting the hips off to one side and swinging the legs around in front of you. Finding Dandasana staff pose here. All right, we've arrived on the earth. That's always a good thing. So let's find a little spine neutralization and a twist here. Hugging your right knee in. And then crossing your right foot over your left. You can keep that left foot extended, or you can bend it. Bring the right tented fingertips behind the right hip to keep your back lined up nice and straight. And then left arm frames left ear. Twisting towards the right, you can either just hug that leg, or you can bind that tricep across the outer left thigh. And then finding your twist here. So not allowing the twist to be superficial, but really inhaling the spine, inhaling the length of the spine on every inhale, and then twisting, starting at the base of the spine, the very low belly on the exhale. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twist into the ribs. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twist into the shoulders, and maybe the gaze comes back over that back shoulder. Take one more long breath here. Stay for the exhale, fullest expression of your twist. And then gently unwind. Release that bottom leg. Uncross the top leg and back to your staff pose. Sitting up nice and tall. Think about that low belly kind of scooping and hollowing. To press the shoulders down, lift through the crown of the head. And hug the left knee in. Crossing that left foot over the right. Again, keeping that bottom leg extended or tucking it under you. Left tented fingertips behind the left hip. Right arm frames right ear. And then again, finding that twist. First in the low belly, into the ribs. Maybe you find that bind or just hug that knee. And then twisting you to your fullest expression of this pose. So you've probably heard the imagery in a twist of thinking of your body as a wet dish rag and you're just wringing out the toxins, cleansing the organs. It's really what you're doing here with the breath, letting the breath wash over you. Take one more long inhale. Stay for the exhale. And then unwind. Release that bottom leg. Release that top leg. Finding your Dandasana one more time. Inhale, arms frame ears. Exhale, forward fold. Really tilting the pelvis forward, melting the belly towards the thigh. The chin comes towards the shin. And when you can't flat back anymore, you can release those hands to the earth. And then working the breath here as well. On every inhale, lifting and lengthening the spine. Tailbone lengthens away from crown of the head. And on every exhale, folding a little deeper. Letting this pose move and breathe as we spend a little time here to really allow the body to melt in. You can just release those hands to the earth, or you can hold the outside of the feet. You can take a big toe bind, whatever version of this Paschimottanasana that feels right to you. Take 3 more breath rounds here. Keeping those feet flexed and active to really engage the hamstrings. And then gently rolling up. And we're going to roll right back down. Take a block or that rolled up sweatshirt or blanket with you. And roll all the way back to your spine. Bending the knees, soles of the feet come to the earth. Arms extend alongside the body, palms face down. So the fingertips may just be able to tickle the heels here. And then I want you to press the whole spine down into the mat. So there's no space between you and the mat. Feel that whole center engage. From there, lift the tailbone up. Lift the low back. Lift the mid back. If it feels comfortable, you can roll one shoulder at a time underneath the body, clasp the hands, and lift the hips a little higher. Breathing here, Setu Bandhasana bridge pose. Making sure the inner thighs are hugged in towards each other. They're parallel to each other. The tendency is for them to splay out. Don't let that happen. Protect your low spine. Release the hands if you have that clasp and roll all the way down to the mat. We're going to take one more back bend here. So you can take that same bridge pose that we just took. If you'd like to simplify, take a block, lift the hips up, slide it right under the base of the spine, the sacrum, where the sacrum connects to the tailbone, the very low part of the spine, and just hang out here for some really nice natural traction. This is one of my favorite poses. I would choose here if I were you. But if you want to amplify, and you want a little bit more than a bridge, find that back pressed all the way down into the earth again. Take your hands beside your ears, palms face down. Fingertips facing the shoulders. And then you're going to press into the hands, press into the feet, and come to the crown of the head. Find that stability there, and from there, straighten the arms, straighten the legs, finding your Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow pose or wheel. And breathing here, this is a really dramatic heart opener. Anahata means unhurt, unstruck, unbeaten. You can think about that every time you're opening your heart. When you've had enough of that, just come down as slowly as you came up. Heel toe the feet out to the wide edges of the mat and let the knees just knock in. Take your arms out to the side, palms face up. Allow the knees to come up towards the sky, heel toeing your feet in so they're about hips width distance apart. And allow both knees to drop over to the left, gazing right. And engage the core just enough to draw those knees back up safely and drop them to the other side. And rocking them back up. And you're going to rock back into a seat, or you can come over to one side and push yourself up. Find a comfortable seat. Maybe you want to grab that blanket or sweatshirt and sit on it, sit right to the edge of it. Taking your left hand over your heart center and your right hand over your left. Closing your eyes. Feel the expanse in your heart chakra, in this energy center that you created. Take a moment to just survey the body and notice any physical or emotional changes that you experienced from the beginning of this practice. Bringing hands to heart center. May our hearts be open. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with us today and doing this practice at home. Use this practice as often as you would like, or check out some of the other practices that are on the Yogitan YouTube channel. If you'd like to practice with me in the studio or any of the amazing teachers that we have here at the Spring, you can find our schedule on our website, www.thespringnaturalhealth.com. Or we also have an app, a free app that you can download and check out our schedule. So I hope to see you soon. Thank you.